Texas chocolate sheet cake, because in our family, chocolate is...
It's everything.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere without chocolate. So the first thing we do is mix some of our dry ingredients. It's going to be 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Right here. Just stir that around.
And you don't sift it all together.
I don't sift any of my ingredients together. I really hate a sifter. It takes forever. If I was going to do it by hand, I might.
Okay.
But my mixer breaks up everything. And so does yours.
Okay. Well, I'm still old school. I still
know.
sift everything even though I put it in a mixer.
It would take me forever. As much as I bake in my house, it would spend hours to sift.
Okay. You say so.
I say so. Then we're going to come over and do our wet ingredients. What we have in here is a cup of butter, 2 sticks, unsalted, that has been softening. And then to it, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. We're going to add a cup of hot water. That's right here. And then I make my own buttermilk, but my mother-in-law uses buttermilk solids. So to do that, it's a powder, which we have here. To make a 1/2 cup, we use 2 tablespoons of the solids, and then a cup of regular water, which is right here. We use a teaspoon of baking soda. I know this is making me crazy. It's all going in the mixer at one time. This is not how you do things.
No, that's okay.
2 eggs. A teaspoon of vanilla. And a tablespoon of vinegar. And then
As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
I know.
As long as it tastes good,
It'll taste good, I promise. And then once this gets completely incorporated, we're going to add our dry ingredients. And then we're going to need to put in that pan. Do you want to grease that while we wait?
Okay, I will.
So to grease it, all she's doing is taking Crisco. She uses her fingers. So I let her do it because it's a messy job and I hate it. And just rub the Crisco around in one solid
If you don't
layer.
want your fingers in it, you can always put wax paper on the end of your fingers.
I use gloves.
Or you can use gloves. You know, whatever it takes. But my hands wash easily and they reduce, reuse, recycle.
I know.
So.
I know. All right, so while she's finishing that, I'm going to add the dry ingredients. I'm going to turn it on slow. All right, now our mix is finished blending. Our pan is greased. I'm going to do that thing I always do and scrape the bottom to make sure everything is in there.
That's good.
And everything is incorporated. Otherwise you get chunks that are not. I'm going to pour it in. You notice that this one has more liquid than the other? It's one of the things. The chocolate one is harder, especially to transport across the kitchen because it has more liquid in it than the vanilla. That just means we have to be more careful.
There you go.
Okay. Now we're going to put this in the oven. It's going to be at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Okay, we're back to ice our Texas sheet cake. I have a stick of butter that has been softened. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and a 1/3 cup of, 1/2 cup of milk. First, we're gonna mix those together. Then we're gonna add some vanilla and powdered sugar.
I don't think my family would hear whether you iced it or not.
Your family, your son is a savage. We'll eat cake whether it is iced, uniced,
Cut, uncut.
doesn't even care. I have never seen someone who gets excited when I have extra cake left over, and I say, "Oh, but I need to ice it." He says, "Why? For what?"
It smells delicious, really good.
And it gets better. Okay, so it's a little incorporated, it's not fully. Then we're gonna add 3 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. And a teaspoon of vanilla, because we like to enhance the flavor of chocolate.
How can you go wrong with chocolate?
You cannot, not in this house. See how none of those pieces are left that were there earlier?
Mm-hmm.
That means it's ready.
Okay. Nobody gets to look at the
Well,
bag.
Jonah normally would, but he's in the other room watching TV. Not only that, we try to get as much off of here as possible because everybody likes the chocolate. Alright, we're going to take this, stir the bottom of the bowl again. You see how that's, you see this? A little darker. That's the sign that you just need to keep stirring it back together because the paddle did not reach the bottom of the bowl.
And the sides.
And then, of course, the sides. And mix it back together. Now, the fun part of this is watching the color change. So you see that light color? Now you're putting it on a hot cake. And because you are, it's going to turn a darker brown color because it's heating up.
It's melting. It's
It's
melting.
melting, it's melting. And the fun part about Texas sheet, have you had Texas sheet cake? I know you've never made it, but have you eaten it?
Oh yes, I've had it.
Okay, so you know that the icing melts halfway into the cake. Yeah.
Oh, let me hold this for you.
Hold that for me for just a second. And you can spread out the icing if you want.
Oh no, I like watching you do that. You got the neck.
And there we are. Texas chocolate sheet cake.